Welcome back to Smosh Mouth. I'm Shayne.
And I'm Amanda, and we have our special guest here, Courtney Miller.
Howdy.
You're back.
You're back.
I'm back. I haven't been on since the first episode.
That's crazy.
And look at what we've done.
Look at us.
So excited.
We changed the name. We've got a sign.
We have a sign.
Yeah,
and that's about it.
And that's all.
Yep, and we've grown a lot.
Your name has
Yeah.
changed. You put the word mouth in it.
Thank you, Jennifer
Wow.
Coolidge.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just really love
Thank you, Jennifer. Never apologize for Jen.
What,
Her?
what have you been up to since you were last here? We haven't talked.
I've been up to a lot.
Weird. I've talked to
Okay.
Courtney.
I
haven't talked to her all day.
Because I got to be a part of the first episode where we talked about this crazy Smosh announcement.
Oh my
And
God, yeah.
That involved a lot of changes. And so that included me, like, I direct Smosh Pit videos now, other fun stuff that's coming. So yeah, it's been just working it out.
I'm just really working it out right now.
She's working it. Like, we got bought back. Anyways, it's totally different now.
Yeah.
We're like, you're like settled now. You're like settled into the crazy change.
Yes, yeah, we're in the groove.
We're totally in the groove, and we don't give a shit that Anthony's back now. It's
No.
just regular everyday life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bully him now. I just push him. When I used to be like, hey, Anthony, when he entered the office, but now I just shove him into a trash
Oh, I
can.
remember when it was like you see Anthony and it was like, hello, Anthony, welcome. And you give him a hug, and now it's just like, what's up, bro? It's good to see you.
What's up, loser?
What's up, loser? Bam.
Smack him in the face.
Yeah.
So today, what we're going to talk about,
Yeah.
a little bit last week, we talked
touched
about
on it
we talked
a little
about
bit.
dating, and we talked about our dating histories. This week, I want to get fully into who we were in middle school and high school, and what life was like for us in
Yeah.
middle school and high school.
What our POV was.
A large part of that inspiration is because a big thing on the channels over the years is, Courtney, you've brought your like high school diary,
Middle school and high school, yeah.
and you were very vulnerable to read that stuff and to have us perform it, and it's always gold.
It's such a cool story how that series happened too, because it was like Josh Mattingly, who was directing the channel at the time, just like trusted me with this idea where like I found my old middle school diaries and I was like, yeah, I just want to like share them. But it felt so weird to have these diaries with people's actual names and stuff. So I was like, maybe I should write them separately. And then I was like, oh my God, I should script these out and have everybody be casted as the characters from my life. And it was such a wild shoot, and everyone was really, really supportive when we did that. And then the Defy shutdown happened, and we almost lost that footage forever. And I begged and asked around like about it, and I'm so glad I did, because they were able to like secure those drives with the old footage that was never put to edit.
Oh
They
my
had
God.
the Defy Media watermark on them. And Kevin Rigg, who was our producer editor at the time, really worked close with me, and like we got to actually do it, and it went so well. And then it became like a series of those diaries. And
Really great.
So cool.
We
I
did-
mean, amazing.
We did lose the footage of, was it Noah and I doing you and Olivia's makeup? Or I just remember we did a video where I genuinely, not as a joke, not trying to be silly, I genuinely tried to do Olivia's makeup, and it was a train wreck, and I felt horrible. I felt horrible because I genuinely tried, but it was when I realized, I'm like, I have no fucking clue how like makeup colors are supposed to work. I do not understand any of this, and I actually felt like shit.
I want to redo.
I felt like shit because I went into it being
redo.
like, I want to try to make Olivia like Olivia looks great, but I was like, I want to make her makeup look great, and I just couldn't do it, and I was like, this is hard.
I would love a redo, and maybe on me.
Okay.
Because I feel like every time I'm on set, rather than here, makeup artists make me look like not like myself. They make me look like an Armenian princess. I don't know
gotta, like,
what it is.
we need to bring like a picture of what we look like when we do have makeup to show them, be like, do this.
Oh, kind of like the Mario Party game where you try to morph.
Yeah. Or just go hard, because makeup artists who are professional will look at me and go, I know exactly what to do. And I'm like, where am I going? Am I like going to the Oscars but in Spain? Like, where am I headed?
Oh my God. But yeah, that was really cool. And for years I've wanted someone else to like step up to the plate and maybe show their diaries. It's very vulnerable. So I've completely
Yeah.
understood why no one else has done it. We got Angela's old AOL chats,
Oh.
which
So
is
funny.
amazing. And I see you have some. Are those some props?
So these are 2 journals. Here's the thing. I have a huge bin full of journals.
Mhm.
I journaled since I was like could read and write. My first journal was a 101 Dalmatian journal that had a lock and key on it. I have so many journals. It was just like what I love to do. I loved Lisa
Same.
Frank. I was obsessed with Lisa Frank. So I had all Lisa Frank's like erasers. So these are just 2, and they're specifically age 14. Like
Wow.
13,
All of that was just
14, and
14.
15. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Holy
I
crap.
usually filled
Right.
one per year, like a 1 journal per age.
Yep.
So yeah, I get you.
But the fun thing is,
Yeah, what is that?
one of them is for school. So one of them actually we had to keep a journal in school, and what I wrote in school is fucked up. No one, like my English teacher would go through it and read it, and I'm like, why did I ever write this stuff?
Oh my
So
gosh,
so
yes.
first, Amanda, could you explain what's on the cover
Yeah,
of this
please.
journal?
Well-
From what
Listening.
year was this?
The year was
Don't make her date.
2002.
2002.
No, it's
I know
okay.
the context is important
2002.
when looking at this cover.
Great
2002. Ashton Kutcher's on the cover.
In
Great-
2002, that makes a lot of
Great
sense.
timing. The word beach cut out from a magazine is on the
Hell
cover.
yeah.
Lips, like a picture of lips.
Cool.
Yeah.
Aquarius, which I am an Aquarius, and Vin Diesel
Vin Diesel.
from Fast
I
and
hold
the
it up?
Furious.
Hell yeah.
But it's when Vin Diesel listen.
Yeah, Vin
the
Diesel.
first Fast and the Furious.
Fast and Furious 1, Vin Diesel is not the same as current Vin Diesel.
You have so many little scribbles on here too. You have like you started to write your name but stopped, so it's just a man.
You know why? Because I don't think a pen could penetrate that cover.
Yeah, I see English journal. I see some numbers that are not sure. I'm not
On the
sure.
back, I see you wrote English journal, I love you.
Oh, you always, as a teenager, for some reason, you just want to write "I love you."
Group
I heart you.
Yeah.
Group B. You must have been put in Group B at one
Yeah,
point,
Probably Group B.
and then you wrote Amanda Lehan.
Yeah.
So wow.
Why didn't you write Amanda Leanne Canto?
Because that was not born yet. It was ACL forever.
Oh.
So that's my English one, and this is like my home one. This is the Dreamtime Journal. This is the journal of a dreamer.
Oh.
Okay. So these aren't dreams. They're
No.
You were just
No, none of these
No.
are dreams. In fact, I hope they're not dreams because they're like, what the is going on?
what the
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, guys.
2002. I think I was in 2nd or 3rd grade.
Wow.
My parents were freshly divorced.
Ooh, fun.
fun?
Yeah, interesting times.
Well,
Okay.
Also, don't forget that there's there's print out pictures of who my crushes were.
Nice.
Celebrities. This is Leonardo DiCaprio.
No way.
Amanda's love. Oh my, I love you! Exclamation mark. My future husband. He's only about 14 years older. Love at first sight. Heart X heart.
Love at first sight
I've never
of the
seen
picture.
this man. Yeah, man. And then there's Charlie Hunnam, Sons of Anarchy.
Wow.
I
Not
don't
look at the
know.
goose.
And then you guys remember these? You guys remember these?
Hold on.
Do you guys remember?
Oh, the little
The, like, black
scraping.
And then you could scrape it.
Can we just point out that you have like an internet pop-up on the side or something, and
yeah.
it has Vin Diesel really skinny.
Oh.
It does? Yeah, Vin Diesel's on the side.
Oh my God, I didn't even know. My
Hell
love.
yeah. Vin Diesel, Amanda's biggest crush.
I love that these are just
He
like
wasn't
souvenirs.
even that big of a
So,
crush.
so okay, before we get into these journals,
Yeah.
I want you to give us a little bit more background on who you were at 14.
Yes.
What kind of 14-year-old were you? Like
I-
what group did you fit in with at school?
I really had to read through here. So I was never part of one group.
Okay.
I was, as we talked about last week with Chance, I was part of a lot of sports teams, heavy in the theater department, and friends with a lot of different groups. So at lunch, I sat with different groups of people. I didn't have one group that was like my sole group, right? Like I sat with like the cheerleaders. They were called Jackum.
What?
They were called Jack 'em. It was all their
Just
first,
yeah.
all their first level. Yeah.
Jack 'em off.
They were called Jack 'em. I sat with all different groups of people. I was never really part of one
That's
group.
kind of cool.
But I was heavy into theater.
But, so you got along with everyone.
I got along with everyone, but for me, I had 3 sisters, right? And 2 of them were in the school usually with me.
But they were older.
So I was always seen as Nicole's younger sister, Allie's younger sister.
For sure.
Right?
My
Yeah.
one of my brothers had that because my oldest brother was like a senior when he was a sophomore. So
Yeah, it's kind of like a blessing, weirdly, when you have an older sibling at your school.
It can be a blessing, or it can be like my sisters were very protective. So it was like, she's off limits. It was very like off limits, right? Like very, so like, which was great. You know, I never dated anyone in my sister's grades ever. That was like not my style. But when I was 14, I had to go back and really read my journals. Like I felt everything. I'm sure every 14, but I literally was like a bleeding heart. Like I felt every injustice in the world I wrote about. I wrote about people being mean to people. I wrote about things I learned on, you know,
the news.
On the news. I was like a bleeding heart, and every sister was my enemy.
Were you like, I'm trying to picture you. Were you like into poetry? Were you like a 14-year-old who's
I
like,
was
I read
into
poetry?
song lyrics.
Okay,
Like
that's
Good Charlotte.
there you go.
Jewel, Avril Lavigne. I was heavy into song lyrics. I was reading a journal and I was like, this sounds like a Good Charlotte song. Oh, it is, because it is a Good Charlotte
Because they're talking about the lifestyles of the rich and the famous.
No, this was way before.
Definitely.
So yeah, I was a part of every group. I loved theater. I was heavy into my family. Like I had a lot of family events. Like I would stay with my grandmother a bunch. My family and I would go on vacations. I was very like, I was a busy fucking kid.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I was working and in a sport and doing theater.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I was really busy.
You want some school with those extracurriculars?
Literally.
What play were you guys?
We did my God. We did so many. Oh, we did Footloose.
Okay.
But here's the thing about me in plays.
Sorry.
I was always cast as the mom.
Oh.
It didn't matter if I had braces. I was the mother.
Were you at 14?
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
You've been
I've been in the mom
falling into
game.
the mom role since you were a
Listen,
teenager.
the big suits, they would put on big shoulder pad suits and I had braces and I'd be like, you need to not go outside now.
How tall were you at 14? Were you 6 foot?
No, I was like 5'10".
Okay.
I was really, really tall.
That's what happened.
And I had very big boobs because it's written all over my journal.
Wow.
I'll read one that's
Here's the first page. I have big boobs.
I'll read one that's about that.
so normal in diaries. I also feel like, why is it all like the best theater women had the best boobs?
Oh, and they were always
I'm sorry,
covered up.
what?
Wait.
What do you say?
I just was like, when I was at high school, the high school theater women, the women in the theater program was like, wow, everybody's like, you're all so developed. Like, where's mine?
We were so developed, and then they covered us up in weird shoulder pad, like big blouses.
Yeah. I know it was weird that I said that. Okay?
No, I just want to
Not weird.
and I was
move
like, I'm
past it.
straight.
Yeah. All the women were fully developed, and all the men were, they were, yeah. As Chance we're talking about, they were all mainly gay.
Courtney, what did you think of Pippin? Boobs. Okay. I think we get a good idea generally.
Bleeding heart.
Bleeding heart.
But also super angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
14-year-olds are angry.
So angry. I said fucking a lot.
So your favorite band, Good Charlotte.
I don't think they were my favorite.
Favorite guy, Vin Diesel.
Stop.
Bleeding heart.
Stop. Yeah. I was wicked pissed all the time.
Oh, that's true. This is also East
This
Coast.
is East Coast. So I was wicked pissed at everybody.
Wicked pace.
I was wicked pissed. All my sisters was like, what a bitch. She came into my room again. Like, I was wicked pissed, and I was so boy crazy. I was, but like, I felt like I was like, it was like Wuthering Heights in like 2000s Boston. Like, it was very like, every guy that I talked about was like the love of my life.
This motherfucker, Mr. Darcy, has the fucking balls to come talk to me.
My accent was not that thick, but I wish it was.
All right, do we want to hop into one of these?
Okay. Also, I learned a trend about myself. I would be really intense on one subject and be like, anyways, I'm having a party this weekend.
Yep. No,
And
that's
did you-
so normal.
You wrote in this with zero intention of ever showing it to anyone, I'm guessing.
Never.
Okay.
Never. In fact, I know we've talked about journals, how sometimes, when you write a journal and you're like, oh, what if someone reads this? I might edit it a little bit. This is completely unedited, so much so that I had to go back and
You say bye in your journals. I saw sometimes you said bye, babe, to your journal.
Yep, I'll say bye, babe, and I say blah a lot. And I go ha, 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 ha a ton.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that's just normal for the times.
That's standard
With
fare.
Ha, 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 blah, blah, blah.
Like what?
Huge.
Also, I'll probably only read half the page because the other half, sometimes it gets very weird.
That's okay. You can.
Every
It's
minute.
your diary. You're allowed to read whatever you want.
Here's one that I was reading to
Oh,
Shayne.
God.
Okay, 92602. George Bush? ? I never noticed the shape of his head. Head? He keeps saying head, their head. Does he understand what he's saying? Ha 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 ha. Anyways, spelled N-E ways. Yeah. OMG. Today is me and Tony's 1 year and 2 month anniversary. Weird. Told you.
You dated a boy for that long?
Yeah, I had a 4-year relationship
yeah.
when I was 12.
George
That's
Bush is weird.
crazy.
Also, it's our 1 year and 2 month anniversary. Weird. We aren't talking at all.
What is happening?
But you guys were just had the label?
Maybe we just weren't meant to be. I don't know what to do. I'm confused. Very confused. Or should I say Bridget in VC, whatever. Oh, I was obsessed with Bridget Jones' Diary.
God.
Whatever. It's all just too stupid. God, this is annoying. Harsh. Okay, so I also gave code names regardless. So I don't even know who this
You don't know who
is.
these people are.
Harsh is a code name, and I don't know who it is.
Okay.
Harsh is pissing me off. She acts like she's the woman. Da 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 da. Song stuck in my head. Other sister at wedding. Don't know.
This is like your notes app when we read the stuff.
And I also gave code names. I even went through here being like, who is Femme? I had a code name Femme. Femme. I don't even know who that is.
You had code names.
That's so funny.
So why was I in a 1 year, 2 month anniversary and we weren't talking
I also
at all?
love wait, George Bush's head. What about his head?
Don't
It looks like a lemon. Can I read one?
Yeah.
Can I read one out loud
Yes.
as you?
Let me find one.
Yeah.
Let me find one that you can read the whole
Yeah.
Did
thing.
you?
See, I
And you
had to read
proofread
through-
some of these, right? Like,
Yeah.
I had to read through and I used Post-it notes to flag which ones
Yeah.
were good to read because it's it's a lot of mess.
Yeah. Yep. Give me. Oh. You could read this one. Maybe this one's a lot.
And anything you want, we can cut out.
No, we're not cutting anything.
Okay, you can read this one. This one's kind of intense.
Okay, I'm gonna be.
This one's kind of intense. It's not fun. Yeah.
Okay. November 11th, 2002. Anger talk? Anger talk, underlined. Hi, haven't talked to you in a while. I'm have to talk to you about anger. Anger can control people very much. Sometimes I say things I don't mean just because I'm pissed. I really regret it. One time in anger, my BF swore at me and I swore back at him. And he was like, he was like, next time he heard me swear and knew, yeah, you were right, crazy. So he, oh, okay, so different guy.
Yeah, different guy.
Okay, so I swore back at him, and Ben was like, next time he heard me swear and knew Johnny made me mad, so he beat Johnny up. That just caused violence. I like Ben and Johnny, but it was my fault that caused Johnny's black eye. Whatever. It's done. All over. I get angry a lot and regret a lot. It's normal. I guess you can say I can be a bitch a lot. Yeah, you could say that. But I'm trying to be nice. Maybe I am, but we'll see when you
When you know me more.
When you get to know me more. Bye! Anger wants to take over, but I won't let it.
Aw. So you made two guys get in a fight.
Yes, I did.
That's awesome.
Yes, I did.
Way to go, Anger.
That was great.
That's a good one.
You read the
You
whole
wrote
thing.
You wrote about like anger as a theme.
I wrote a lot of themes.
I wish mine was as coherent as that.
Yours is so coherent. We
Mine-
acted it out.
But like one journal entry would be like, ugh, he was so mean to me. Here's my outfit for tomorrow. And then like a shitty drawing of my outfit. and then
That's
anyway.
mainly mine.
Yeah.
Like literally. Wait.
I think the more unhinged it is, the more successful of a journal it is, because that's the point.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be unhinged. Like I feel like I was telling Shayne that I feel like a lot of
You
it
wrote
was like
so much. Every
yeah.
single one of
I
these
wrote
pages
every
is filled.
day. Here's one. 1803, January 1st, 2003. I wrote that out.
Nice.
I don't know why.
We were probably learning.
Hey, today's a good day. Ha ha ha. I just figured out that I have no friends. And then I wrote
Sad face.
and then I wrote sad face, and I wrote ha 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 blah 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 blah. Anyways, school is very hard. Very hard. Midterms, hard. Anyways, I want to love someone. Actually, I like, we'll call him Mark. For some reason, I had a dream about him, and I love him. He's wicked hot. Everyone in my grade is, I won't say what this word is. I'll say dumb. Especially femme, which is a code word, psycho, but not hopscotch. Bye.
And then a little flower.
And then a little flower.
Wow, you say wicked, like unironically?
Oh, I said wicked all the time. My first year when I moved here and I worked in a bar, everyone's like, that's wicked awesome, right? I'm like, yeah, it is wicked awesome.
They're like, way to go, Matt Damon,
Oh
loser.
my God.
I say
Gosh.
wicked all the time.
Yeah, you're from Boston.
My family still says wicked.
Yeah, they're in
Aw.
Boston.
I know. I love it. It's just great seeing like I never picture like a kid saying wicked.
I know. Picturing a 14-year-old
know.
saying it is very funny to me.
You can read one. This one's just dumb.
Okay, I'm going to give this a shot. So this is February 3rd, 2003, a Monday.
Ugh.
You wrote Monday.
Mondays.
Damn, I forgot my black clip again underlined at
Brit.
Brits.
You can say it.
At Brits. That you didn't that R is that's just two I's and two T's. When she's probably wearing it right now and probably going to loose it. I'll be so pissed. So pissed. Oh man. Anyways, I'm pretty sure everyone invited can come to my party. Okay, let's see. And then you got a bunch of names. Celebrate. Good. Brit. Times. Come on. There's like a weird squiggle down the middle of this
I
dividing
know.
stuff.
Probably all the names.
Come
of the
on. So
party.
bring your good times and your laughter too. Oh, you're quoting
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yep.
Because we're going to celebrate and party with you. Come on, Dad, Allie, and
Hello?
Nicole know about Wilkes. And I don't know what's happening.
Oh.
Some people are really like. Some
Let me
people are
see.
better at reading. Other
I'm
people's
not
handwriting
good
than
at
others.
I
reading.
I
said
think I have a talent. For
I
it.
said celebrate with you. Oh my God, Mom, Dad, Allie, Nicole know about Wilkes and Bob and me driving around with them. I'm sorry, but I didn't get grounded or anything. Bye, Amanda.
Nice.
So
Wow. That's impressive that you can read that. I have no idea what was
You know
happening
why?
on that
Because my
page.
handwriting is like more like cursive.
It's similar to cursive, but not quite.
The thing that I realize is I get really mad at the top. And then I think I realize, oh, things are good. Things are happening. I'm happy.
Would you write at the same time every day? Like, would it be like at 9 p.m.?
No.
I sit down, I write my journal.
No, I wrote like every day. I still, Amanda, pretty much journal every day.
That's great.
It's just like something, but usually why it's like scribbly is because my thoughts are getting out faster than my
Sure.
pen.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
And I think this one specifically was for English class. So my English teacher is reading all of this. Just heads up.
What?
He's reading all this because he's responding sometimes.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's normal.
It's an English class, and we had to read it. And this is what I wrote about. And my English teacher would respond.
Why is this so foreign
Weird.
to me?
My high school had this. Like one of our English teachers did it, and other ones didn't. But I had him for a different class, and he was like the best teacher at that school. And I was always jealous that I didn't get to have that, because like that to me felt like more parenting than I like had gotten as a kid. It was like,
Yeah.
because like I was never honest about my feelings to my parents.
What would he respond? Like, yeah,
I'm trying
George Bush's head does look weird.
I'm trying to look. This was his handwriting.
But yeah, it's
wow.
like you could just, because they're not going to judge you for stuff.
This is
like-
what he wrote. Hey, happy day. First, congrats on Q1. Amazing work. I think you can do better. Ugh. But I love having you as a student because you're always smiling, try hard, and have a fantastic attitude. It was cool to meet your mom. She rules. I hope science gets better. Just keep working at it. I remember last year in writing lab, you and Brittany hated me. This is what my teacher wrote. I thought you were still going to hate me this year. Anyways, what else happens? Have fun at the semi. Be careful with BM. He also has a code name. I know exactly what he's talking about. He is, well, you know, I ain't writing it. I think you rule. Be happy.
What?
That's my teacher. So I think in earlier in here, I'm writing code names
Yeah.
about boys, and he's like, be careful.
Oh,
Be careful.
He's giving
What?
advice even not knowing who they are.
That's funny.
I honestly, I think
names.
teachers like this are so sweet because it's like way more humanizing, and it's not like this was like an unchecked curriculum. Like obviously, there was no. I feel like it was always like very appropriate, you know. And I thought it was so cool that people got to have a journal. Like that was part of their curriculum.
Yeah.
Like that was not. I never had that in any of my classes, but I did journal all the time.
Yeah, you have like 1 million.
I literally had 1 million as well. Yeah.
So wait,
it's
how many
important.
journals do you have at this point?
Oh, so many. I don't know.
Like over a dozen?
No, like 20 or
Holy
30.
shit. So
There's a whole like storage box filled with them.
if I had been in a class like this where I had to write in a journal and the teacher would read it, I'd be writing like, today I studied a lot more and I really love school, and I would just be lying. I wouldn't be confessing anything.
Well,
I would never. I would totally lie every day.
Because you want to impress them, huh?
Yes. Me 14, I would have written insane shit. I'd have been like,
what's funny is I always thought I was like that, but after reading this, I'm like, oh my God, I really say everything I'm feeling.
I also think you get to a certain point in those journals. Well, maybe at first you're trying to write like a student.
Yeah, look at this handwriting.
Yeah.
I think some of them I'm like, hello, mister, how are you? I hate March so much. It's busy. I don't know.
do you
Yeah.
think your teacher was actually reading it? Because his
Yeah,
his
he's
note,
responding to
but his
specific
note.
things.
Oh, because I was gonna say that first note was just like, yeah, it's pretty good. You probably do better.
I know. I also
I
hate
feel
when
like
teachers
as
do
a
that.
teacher though, I would be so interested in something like this because I think it's a great way to understand your students
Yeah.
and then also humanize yourself and responding. Like the fact that he acknowledged that you guys used to hate him, interesting. But like
I know. I read that and I was like, that's a little weird
it is interesting that he brought that up.
that he said that.
Hey guys, just a quick break from the diaries to let you know this episode of Smosh Mouth is brought to you by BetterHelp. Amanda, are you a fan of therapy?
Oh, yeah. Huge fan of therapy. I started therapy when I was younger, and I feel like it really helped me understand my anxiety and how to handle it. What about you?
I actually didn't start it until I was in my 20s, and it was immense for me. I know it can be tough for people because of the schedules and stuff.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like if you want to start therapy, doing BetterHelp is really beneficial because it's very accessible. It's entirely online. It works with your schedule. And all you have to do is fill out a questionnaire. You can find the therapist that you like. And if you're like, not for me, you can change it and they don't charge you.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/smoshmouth today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smoshmouth. All right, back to our diaries.
Okay, here we go. But here's one that I wrote that I definitely read. I don't know where his response is, but 22403. Hey, everyone is pissing me off. Mark told everyone about how I said Mike kisses like a horse. OMG.
Wicked awesome.
Everyone is so full of gossip. It pisses me off. I fucking hate them all.
Damn.
Especially whatever I called him first. fucking
Mark.
and then I say his last name. He's such a bitch. God. What the hell? I hope this all blows over calmly. That. This will probably turn into a mess.
Wow.
Wow. I'm like wicked pissed. Like completely pissed off.
I love how back and forth you go
You would, like,
in
repeat,
these.
yeah.
I'm
I hope
so-
this all gets solved. It probably won't. I hope we're all friends. I hate them.
Which is why, like, going off of your inspiration, like, which is why I think it'd be so fun to perform.
Yes.
Because,
These are great.
okay, he goes, and then I go, God, I just want to shake Bobby and say, why? Why did you do this? Why do you have to be so mean? Why do you have to be such a fucking dickhead? No,
Whoa.
I'm steaming. I'm mad at Amy too. Like, I can't. Like, what? Like, please. What a fucking son of a bitch.
Whoa.
I'm pissed.
And your teacher's
Bye.
like, I think you could do better. I think let's look up some synonyms and we could try to.
Like, why did he let me say any of this?
I think that's cool. I think he was kind of, it's like a judge-free zone if you're just like writing, and maybe he meant like,
Do you think he would ever go over to Mike and be like, hey,
Dear
you should watch your back?
Can I read the teacher?
Amanda.
Yeah. Yeah, you can read the teacher. I don't think he touches on any of like the
No.
being pissed or anything. You can read the teacher's response.
okay. Dear Amanda, hello. March is not so good.
Mind you, he looked like Professor Snape.
Okay.
This is what he looked
Dear
like.
Amanda, hello. March is not so good. I think it is long too cold, etc. I like April. I love spring, warm days. May is my favorite. My birthday is 26th. I will expect a gift. I'm not sure about the MCAS.
See, that's the thing. He code names. I think he's giving me code names.
I have to ask because that was the first I heard of it. I think the Six Flags trip will be fun. I love Superman, and I really want to go to Washington as a chaperone, and there is no room. What?
Yeah.
What?
Maybe weird.
I may pay my own way. Maybe. It may get cancelled. Don't worry about the history paper. There are like 7 weeks left. Just keep at the research. I will show you the format as we proceed. You will.
I don't know.
What does that mean?
You will
define.
define.
Trust me. Luck. Well, keep up the good work.
You will be
You
fine.
will be fine. Well, keep up the good work. Be happy. Peace. Mr. S. 100%.
He hardly touches on anything you said.
Because what? It would be weird if he was like, yeah, that guy fucking pissed me off too.
I think that guy was just phoning it in. I think he's like, yes,
Maybe he's trying to like show you what proper journaling
I think he's
is.
like, this is what I'm looking for. Talk about how Six Flags is cool because you like Superman. Maybe do that.
I don't.
He was a good teacher.
Why is he talking about like I want to be a chaperone on the West?
He was a good teacher.
Maybe I'll pay my way.
It is a little weird that he was like, I thought you guys hated me. It's like,
This guy is a little too invested in the teenage opinions. That's so funny.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is your personal non-school journal.
This is not school.
Were you writing in these at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was like, it's still a lot of like piss me off.
It looks like a recipe book.
Wicked
Drawing.
stupid. Oh yeah.
Lots of drawings.
Look it. I drew
An eye. Classic.
Now I see the planet orbit around the sun from my point of view.
Wow, so beautiful.
Guys.
Pretty cool.
And then it's like, I hate my fucking sister. She's such a bitch.
Oh my gosh, I think I was afraid to swear sometimes in my journal because it was like a
Really?
sin.
because God was
Yeah, 'cause
watching.
God was watching.
Did you think God was
Oh.
reading your journals?
I think so because there was a journal on like the first time I kissed a girl, I wrote that I was going to hell in red color pencil, and I was like,
Nice.
"I'm sorry, I have sinned," and like I was like as if I was writing to him.
See, it's so funny. People, it's so different. Like I was like, these journals are the only place that I can truly be totally myself and not really caring. Like, I did write, watch over me, angel. I wish I could be a good artist, but at least I'm lucky in a unique talent singing, kinda.
Ah, there you go.
Dancing.
Courtney, how many diaries do you think you had throughout your teenage years?
Okay, so I showed I think 3 or 4 of them in the videos, and those were like the journals. So,
Yeah.
and then like probably had random ones here and there of like other notebooks that I would write in. So I would say at least 8. Like from 6th grade to 9th or 10th grade. And then after that, stuff kind of got different. I was like, became very online and like I used to like have weird like Tumblr journal entries that are gone now.
Same.
Yeah.
I love Tumblr.
Tumblr like made me realize what feelings were. Like I feel like the difference between you and me in our diaries was like you were like anger. Let's talk about anger. And like I didn't know how to acknowledge or process my feelings. I was just feeling them, and like me trying to acknowledge my own feelings almost felt like self-absorbed just because of weird ways that I was treated. So like I didn't understand. I was like, why is this happening? But never like could understand like, oh, you're feeling this way. I never had that.
I think I like we talked about this the last episode. I grew up, very Portuguese around my grandparents all the time. I think if I grew up with my dad's family around me a lot, this wouldn't be happening. Because they were Irish, they were very kind. They didn't really talk about their feelings. My Portuguese side, everything was unfiltered. Everything was like meshed all together. And my mom was very open about her feelings. My like anger, sadness, tears. Like I knew everything that was going on.
Wow.
I don't know if that was a good thing, but it opened me up to be really emotional. Like I was very in touch with my emotions, and I was so angry. But I was angry not just at like stupid idiots pissing me off, but I was angry at like the world.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I was going through my journal and I have so many angries about, and this one actually, I will say, angries. This one made me go, oh no. Like I was, okay, let me read this one to you.
Oh, can I read it?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yep. If there's anything weird in there.
May 31st, 2003. Hey, I feel so self-conscious. Everyone calls me big boobs. It's horrible. I just want to slap them and say, look at me. Look at my beauty in me, just like there is in everyone. I know I'm different, but I wish they could see my beauty. See me for me and not just a nobody who's fully developed. I'm sitting here after getting home from Brit's seeing her new puppy. I just want everyone to love me. Well, not exactly. Me and Brit and other friends were going to sneak out, and we fell asleep. And the next morning, Bobby said, yeah, was it because Amanda was being a bitch?
What?
See the beauty, not my features. You wrote that in the little mirror on the bottom.
Oh my god.
Wow, and a boy was being weird about. That means your friends were talking about you behind your back.
All the time.
Aww.
Boys were talking about me all the time. I would have friends come up to me and be like, this boy wants to try to get with you. This boy wants to try to get with you because he thinks that no one can get with you. That was like the biggest thing. They're like, they think that no one can get with you, so it's his goal to get with you.
Oh my god.
So my like 14-year-old self, I would become friends with guys who became like brotherly to me. Like they became like very protective. I felt like I had a very protective sense because my sisters were protective, but they got way more protective as I got older.
Sure.
But I read this and I was like, oh my goodness. Like, see me for me and not because I'm fully developed.
Yeah, that's so sad. I mean, meanwhile, I was like, my friends keep calling me bra stuffer, even though I am, and I hate it.
I hate that they know my tricks.
To make you feel better, I'll tell you something really embarrassing about like how boys treated me, which was like, so if I ever found out a boy liked me in my preteens and my early teens, I would be like, oh, I like them too. Cause like I wanted to be liked and I wanted a boyfriend so bad. So I would be like, oh, I like you too. And they would, if they asked me out, I always said yes. And then I got to a point where like this group of boys, like one would ask me out and then like the next day another would ask me out and be like, oh no, but I'm dating this other guy. And they'd be like, oh, well, I heard that you'll go out with anybody. And I was like, what?
There's literally no way to win.
Like there was like a running gag with these boys, and then they would start just telling people that we were dating. And so I would just like be like this random boy, I had to be like, hey, we're not dating. Like, why are you telling people that? And he's like, I didn't. And it was like, but he definitely did.
And then what do you do after that? It's like,
just,
I didn't do that.
So many issues that would go affray. Like
it really shows you cannot win in high school.
No.
You're a loser for whatever you do.
Yeah, exactly.
You date, you're a fucking loser. If you don't date, you're a fucking loser.
And I think reading through this, it made me realize, okay, all this shit can happen to you, but how do you like see the world? And I think like this is like our last episode with Chance. Like I feel like since we all come from different things, we see the world differently. But when I read my journal, I was like, oh, wow, okay, I see the world. That's where all that comes from. Like all that like injustice, because all these fucking idiots that I call horrible names in this, all these sons of bitches, these wicked idiots they'll always do stupid shit forever. And it's just like, I feel like when you journal, you really realize how it makes you feel. And it's so insane. So it's like when you were talking about like being a teen and like, you know, your career and you like couldn't lose it. But it's like in high school and middle school, that's why people are obsessed with these stories, because it's like everything was at stake. Everything was the most important thing ever. Like someone calling you a bitch, a boy calling you a bitch.
That was
you were just like, my life is over. Like half this journal is like, I'm hurting. I hate it. Like, you know
it's
what
also
I mean?
though, it's so intense though. Like imagine if we went through that type of shit on a daily basis as an adult here.
Oh.
It would be awful. If I came to work and I was here and someone called me a bitch, that probably would be the highlight of my day. I'd be like, yeah, were you there when Noah called me a bitch? That was crazy.
Our worlds were so much smaller in middle school, where like literally our entire world was like home life, but like school, and that bubble was like everything.
Well, you have a bunch of people figuring out life at the exact same time. Of course it's going to be chaos.
And they're all just bullying each other on what they think is okay and what they think is normal. And so everyone's just battling of like what's normal and what's not, which is so crazy when there's like so many different types of kids all together. I was 11 when that dating stuff was happening, like 11 or 12.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What about you, Shayne?
Yeah, what were you
like?
Well, I kind
middle
of know a little bit
years?
what you were like because you were saying it
Yeah,
last
yeah,
episode.
And your
week.
journals. Like, what were your journals?
Did you have journals?
So yeah, I have, as opposed to you guys, hearing that you both have like 20 journals is hilarious to me, because I did start journaling when I was 15, but from 15 to now, I only have 2 journals, one that I completed and one that I have been still putting entries in since like 2007.
Aww.
And
why would you write? Like, what prompted you to write?
so mine was a little different. I think, and it's very telling of just my mindset, and especially back then, I always wrote like thinking like, who's reading this and what. So I never really let it out like genuinely. Like how yours, I'm so...
you edited yourself.
So much self-editing, which is really interesting. And it's interesting in its own way, the self-reflection of that. But I'm very impressed by how just open you both would be in journals. I think that's really cool that you could really just let it all pour out. Because when I write, it's very clear that I am trying to sound a certain way. And then I'm thinking about, like, if someone found this journal 100 years from now, what are they going to think of me? And I'm like, why does that matter so much to me? I'll be dead.
That's so interesting.
Because the best journals that are found years later are the ones where people are so raw and, oh my God, you brought one too?
Yes.
Shayne!
So this is the journal that I've been writing in since 2007 that I still write in sometimes.
Since 2007?
Shayne, I can't believe this.
Since 2007. Yeah. Okay.
So I put a couple marks because, like, most of them are, I didn't read through a ton of it, and a lot of it's too recent to like work for this.
Yeah.
Because like I wrote in it last night. But I sometimes I skip years. Like I go years without writing in it.
Yeah.
So, but I kind of like it because I look back at the beginning and I'm a teenager, and then you skip to suddenly like I'm 25 and suddenly I'm 28. And
my God.
but you can definitely see. So I've talked about how I wasn't this. I was just kind of in my mind, I was just kind of whatever. As a teenager, I was trying so hard to just fit in.
Yeah.
And be liked that I didn't really have like a strong personality type.
Yeah.
But they're absolutely deep down, you can tell that The Chosen is very much part of who I am. just in the way I would write and the way I was trying to sound. I was trying to sound so smart and so like, yeah, it's crazy how the world works. And so I took a couple here.
Oh my God.
So crazy.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
I know.
Did I see a title called LA Friends?
Yeah. I would try to be like, oh, let me just write about all the friends that I have.
You're
right?
not going to be wicked.
Mine are similar to yours, where it's like, I would label something as like anger, and I would write about that.
Oh,
so
cool.
I was trying to have this be more about like, man, if some great grandkids someday find this journal, they'll know like my lessons on things. And I read back on them like, what the lesson am I trying to teach here? I'm just trying to sound cool.
So funny.
So this one's called Love and Hate.
Whoa.
As I was reading them last night, I can't help but kind of go into a chosen voice sometimes because that's what it sounds like.
You need that for yourself for this?
Do it.
Please do it.
I'll start off that way. I often wonder why.
What's the date?
There's no date on this, but this is 2007.
Okay.
This is
Who
all.
doesn't date their journals?
I would date the journals if I was writing like a journal entry, but
Okay, love and hate.
Interesting. Okay.
love and hate. I often wonder why some people try so hard to hurt others, to become so hated. People just label them as evil and that's it. But there is a reason for everything, and I think I understand why this is. Love and hate are both very similar in the fact that they are both a form of care. When you hate somebody, they matter to you. They are an important factor in your life, regardless if it's a negative or positive one. What people are trying to avoid is complete worthlessness. So in reality, someone who tries to get people to hate them is almost the same need as someone who tries to get people to love them. Both of them are forms of attention. The sad thing is that often people who are kind or try to treat others with respect are the ones who don't matter to many people, and those that hurt others are important to many. The truth, though, is that those who hurt are the cheap cowards who get attention the easy way, but hate will never be as gratifying as love. Unfortunately, love is a long and challenging process, and it takes a lot of work and sacrifice, but love lasts forever and is hundreds of times more powerful than hate will ever be.
Wow. How old were you?
Okay.
17 or 18?
Oh, that was
Me by myself trying to be like, okay, so I'm going to write.
17 or 18 is like the kind of like the side swipe hair where it's like love and hate.
Absolutely.
That's what like the like mid later teens is when like philosophy hits you in the brain really hard.
And that was definitely what I was going for with my journals. I wanted to be so deep. I wanted to be so deep when I was a teenager. I was trying so hard. And I look back and I'm like, dude, just relax a little bit.
Yeah.
You're allowed to think about this stuff.
It's still deep when you're like, this fucking piece of shit. Like, I want to shake you.
There's a subreddit called I'm 14 and This Is Deep. And it's absolutely me when I was a teenager in a certain way.
Yeah.
I
Just
need to
like
read
I was
that.
trying so hard to just be like, frick, I'm thinking about things no one else is thinking about. And it's like everyone's thinking about that.
Oh
but
my god.
I felt the total opposite. I felt like I was like, I am way too deep. Like, I feel it all. How do I be normal? And it was impossible.
yeah, I have an entry called Love and Hate. I have another one called Eternity and Infinity. And then I have another one that I marked to read just called The Purpose to Life.
Whoa.
Stop. You
The
are
purpose to
hilarious.
life. You didn't want to say the meaning of life because you felt
The
that was too
purpose
simple.
to life.
You're
of
literally
life.
the chosen. You're the chosen.
People rarely give it much thought, which is both funny and sad. But what would we consider the purpose and meaning to life?
Please stop.
Nobody ever thinks about this.
Oh my god.
It's a question that nobody can answer, but often think they can. They live their whole lives chasing things without understanding why. They may accomplish great things, but still never understand their motivation for everything. Although I don't even know what it is, if there is a purpose at all, I can still guess. I believe it is for happiness, for love and friendship, and for learning. If you notice, you probably do everything for the sake of happiness. You go to school so you can get a good job, so you can make a lot of money and buy nice things so you can be happy.
You're turning into Owen Wilson a little bit.
The other is lessons. Man. The other is lessons. Every day, every experience, and every tragedy is a lesson. We are here to gain wisdom, to learn about every aspect of life, and will continue to do so for as long as we exist. What is the point of learning in life? I still cannot think of why. probably some sort of enlightenment, something you can only understand once you've figured it out. In the end, I believe we choose our own In the end, I believe we choose our own purpose. We can choose to live for greed and hate or love and joy. We can choose to kill and wage war or give and help others while we live in this world we know so little about.
Okay.
This kid was thinking about the Roman Empire every
I was thinking about
day.
the Roman Empire so much.
We just talked about
Yeah.
this on the podcast
Yeah.
about the fucking Roman Empire and dudes.
And the
who
women
think about
equivalents.
it.
Do you know the women equivalents of the Roman Empire?
Murder.
Princess Diana,
Princess Diana. Oh my god.
the Titanic,
Oh, the
Those are
Titanic.
our-
100% for me.
the Salem Witch
yeah.
Trials. Those are our Roman empires.
I'm literally reading about the Salem witch trials right now.
I'd
Well,
be
see-
thinking about witches burning all the time.
What I've said is it's for men it's the Roman Empire. For women it's Greek mythology.
Yeah, he said that, and I was like, that's pretty
That's one of them.
fucking legit. But it's also witches.
It's mostly witches, I
It's
think,
definitely
because like
witches.
I feel like it makes sense. The reason why men think about it a lot so much is like it was a big part of history. I agree. I think I've thought about it from time to time, but
I've dabbled in
but
the Roman Empire.
it's like it's very like stereotypical. Like this is what a man was in that
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
and that
Yes.
was the ultimate like power and man and men.
yeah.
Whereas the Salem witch trials, it's like, we're just trying to live. We're just trying to have big boobs and sneak
I'm
out.
just trying to knit and make some tea.
And we're trying to kiss you and not have you kiss like a horse, dude.
That's amazing.
Stop drowning
though.
I have now I have some different ones. I think these
Okay.
are from 2009. I think this
Okay.
jumps.
Well,
2009,
So I'm like 19
19.
By the way, when you were, I think around the same time you were writing that, I like had my little MacBook and I was like, I think I was trying to Google the meaning of life all the time.
every teenager's thinking about the meaning of life. And I'm sitting here like, nobody thinks about this. It's like, no, because I don't have friends.
We have so much self-importance when we're doing
Oh,
journals. We're like,
dude.
how dare the world hate on my developed body?
Absolutely no one understands me. Okay, so this is just called favorites. And this is awesome. When I found this, I was like, hell yeah. So this is just a list of all my favorite things when I'm 19.
Wow.
I have a good follow-up for that.
Favorite actor. What do you want to guess? This is 2009. How about you just guess and then I'll...
Favorite actor, 2009.
Or I could just read. Why don't I
No,
just
I
read
want to
it?
guess Heath Ledger.
It's not Heath Ledger. It's
Is
a good
it around
guess.
that time though?
2009. This is from 2009. So this is a big actor in 2009. Think more. I want to be.
Brad Pitt?
No, think more. I want to be an actor.
Oh, okay.
I want to do good acting.
Anthony Hopkins?
No, but you're more in line. It's Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh my God.
Favorite actor, Daniel Day-Lewis
Duh.
from There Will Be Blood.
Yes.
Favorite actress.
Dame Judi Dench.
No, good
Meryl
guess.
Streep?
Also good guess.
Kate
I'd say
Winslet?
that category. You're in the right category.
Was it
Reese Witherspoon. I'm just kidding.
Kate Blanchett?
Yep.
Oh.
It's Kate Blanchett.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Favorite movie it's two movies. Catch Me If You Can and Forrest Gump.
Of
Wow.
course.
Favorite comedian. This is too hard. This is very much of
George
that
Carlin?
time. No.
Dane Cook?
No. Good guess because this
Dane
was
Cook was hilarious during that time.
this. But do you remember Dimitri Martin?
Of course.
Yes,
Yes.
I love
and
Dimitri.
during this era, he was huge. I saw him live. He was so funny. Favorite comedy movie, Dumb and Dumber. Favorite band. Do you want to guess what my favorite teenage band was?
AC/DC.
I'm trying to think of
No,
teenage
not
bands back in the
AC/DC.
day.
This was not this. They weren't big at this time. They were already done.
Beatles?
No.
I think what your brothers liked and like
That is the
Probably.
way to think. It was Sublime.
Sublime.
Hey,
Sublime!
I loved Sublime. Let's be
Sublime
real.
is great. I was so into it. Favorite music genre, alternative, rock. Probably could have taken away that comma, Shayne.
But that's how iTunes did it. iTunes put it like that. So
It's 2009. What is my favorite TV show?
Family Guy.
No.
I'm
So
struggling
favorite
with
favorite drama.
2009.
Favorite drama. It's 2000. It's the year 2009.
ER.
The OC.
No. What is this Shayne, who's deep, who loves really mysterious stuff? What is my favorite TV show in
Doctor
2009?
Who.
Buffy.
No. It was Lost.
Aww.
Yeah. That was the biggest
Good
thing
romances
at that
in
time.
Lost.
Dream car, Dodge Challenger.
Whoa!
Vin Diesel. They came out with
Hold on.
They came out with a new Dodge Challenger around that time, and I remember thinking it was awesome.
Vin!
The boys who had the
Vin!
Dodge you were a Dodge Challenger teen? Jeez
Okay,
Louise.
here's the last one. I wrote Dream Girls. Who do you think? I have three
Are they
names.
celebrity crushes?
Celebrity crushes.
Oh my god.
Who do you? If you can get one of them.
If I can get one of them. Okay. 2009. Oh, Katie Holmes.
Not Katie Holmes.
What's her name from Heroes?
It was not.
Angelina Jolie.
Not Angelina Jolie.
It wasn't Hannah Panettiere.
It was not Hayden Panettiere.
Oh.
No, you like
Honestly, two of these surprised me. One of them I completely forgot about. One of them makes sense, but you really have to be in the mindset of that year and that time.
I can't remember that year.
Yeah, just do it.
Okay, it's not Megan Fox. So the first one, this one's just such a whatever. Adriana Lima.
Hot.
I mean,
Orlando,
Was she in?
Victoria's Secret angel.
yeah.
Okay.
She was married to Orlando Bloom and then
How did
not.
you see her? I guess there was internet.
I was a teenager.
That was Victor. She was a big Victoria's Secret angel, right?
Yes, she was like
What
the
color
one.
hair?
Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alicia Cuthbert.
Who the f?
Everyone in this room is like, oh right.
Who is
The
that?
Girl Next Door, that
Oh,
movie, and then also
very
she was
hot.
in Happy
Blonde.
Endings.
Blonde.
Oh, she is
She
in
is
Love
that.
Actually.
Oh.
She was. I mean, at
She
that
was
time,
very hot.
she was.
Even I
everyone-
watched Girl Next Door and I was like, hot.
Everyone was like, yeah. So those two were like obvious for that era.
2009.
This last one though, I was like, damn, this was niche. This was. Do you remember Camilla Bell?
Of course.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Camilla Bell was a child actor in one of my favorite movies, Practical Magic.
Okay.
Am I thinking of Camilla Bell?
I don't know.
She
most
is
of these
olive
names.
skin, dark hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, she played the little girl in Practical Magic.
Oh. Yeah. She
It's about
was.
witches.
She kind of. I think she doesn't. I haven't seen her in like.
Camilla
Forever.
Bell, what could she have been in?
I don't know. At that time, I must have seen something that I just.
She
I gotta look
was.
these people
She was.
up.
She was.
Yes, she was.
Oh, she was in the second one. Yeah.
Wait, she was. Oh God, wait. Am I not thinking of the right person?
I don't know, but I had to Google her.
Yes, I am thinking of the right person.
I had to Google her.
That's who I pictured.
I had to Google her because I was like, wait, I don't remember.
She has not been in much.
That's definitely
Yeah,
like.
but she's in Practical
yeah.
Magic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's. I pictured you liking girls with like darker hair and darker features, like.
I mean, this is all because Alicia
the other
Cuthbert.
one's, blonde.
Alicia Cuthbert was blonde,
blonde,
blue eyes.
light eyes, and
Yeah.
she looks like.
My crushes were all over the place.
Same.
Hello.
Yeah, yours are truly
Hello.
all over the
Vin
place.
Diesel, Ashton Kutcher, Leonardo
So
DiCaprio, though.
funny.
That makes sense.
I'll never forget.
That's your Alicia Cuthbert, like of
He
course.
was my number
course.
one.
He was
Basketball
Leo.
Diaries.
That dude was at that time. He was Leo.
Okay, to follow up on that, I have a don't list.
Okay.
Don't be a poser. Don't
That's talk about 2003. Holy shit.
don't be someone you're not with a you are. You're not. Don't be hypocritical. Did not spell that right. Don't expect anyone. Don't be this way. Okay? Don't change. Don't always follow me.
Okay, what?
And then I wrote followers, and then I put an X through it.
What? And that was before Twitter or
And
Instagram
here's-
existed.
Here's my
10:34 p.m. Oh yeah, you. Were
yeah.
close
This
to
is
it.
Sunday, 10:34 p.m. And then this is love, completely connecting, eating greasy foods to unupset yourself, coming together as one, always caring, let out creative emotions, in drip, splat dots on the wall.
Huh?
Love being true to the others, expecting the unexpected, never saying never.
Justin Bieber.
I know. Love every blink of an eye. Love music, ... life, ... you.
Whoa, who?
Guys.
Wow.
And there's hearts and
Oh my!
I had to follow up with your favorites because I have a don't and a love.
Don't.
I love it.
Don't.
I liked to start every journal with like, okay, here's me. Here's all the stuff I like. Here's what I look like. Like my first journal was like, I am just starting to get my pubic hair. Like very, very like this was a lab report on myself.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Like I am an 8-cup bra. Like that was like I'd have my stats like to start my journal off, so I like knew where I was in my life.
I love that. Everyone's journal is so fucking different.
Yeah.
But also very much the same, except for yours, you freak, Shayne.
Well, how many?
think
I don't
that's-
think many guys have journals too.
I think that's
I
kind of
wish
you
they
because you
did.
created Chosen, and Chosen is
Chosen is very.
not many dudes have journals.
I know, and they should.
They really. I feel like, yeah.
I'm grateful for it to look. It is cringy to read. It's tough to read sometimes because you're like, damn, But then it's also what's nice is you realize how much you've changed over time. And you
I've
go, oh wow, I've
changed.
learned so much.
But I
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
haven't changed.
I-
Where I'm like, I could slap you all the
I
hate.
remember an entry from my first journal where I started where I'm 15, and there's not a ton of. It's a smaller journal, so there's not many pages in the. But one of them I'm talking about. It's one of my birthdays, and I'm talking about this birthday that in my memory I'm like that was great. Even as I'm writing it, like as I'm reading it, I'm like this was a great birthday. But I'm like yeah, it wasn't that much. It wasn't that big of a deal. And I'm like damn, like you suck,
I
loser.
I feel like you're probably trying to be humble or something.
I just also just didn't have perspective on things yet. Just straight up.
So if there was one word to describe all of us as 14-year-olds, and I guess maybe 18-year-olds, since that's where in your journal kind of
yeah,
was.
what
What-
that one is, yeah.
What would the one word be if you could?
Ugh.
Me at 14, I think me at 14, truly, the problem was that I was trying too hard. So I think I was actually, I think lost maybe might be the right word because I didn't know who I was.
And that's why you loved that show.
I loved Lost.
Lost.
I related to it.
Lost.
I'm sorry I called 14-year-old you a freak.
I was in a certain way.
I was a freak.
You wouldn't be able to tell.
I was a freak in a cool.
I was commercial ready.
I was so lost. I think at 14 I at least wasn't a joint custody kid anymore, so I at least had all my most of my shit together physically, but emotionally no. I'm trying to think. I don't.
See, I would say just from what you were talking about with your journals, I would say, aware, not aware, or like
I feel like maybe hurt. Because I was going through so much pain. Middle school was tough because I was bullied so hard by the people who were supposed to be my friends.
I would say vulnerable. I think you
Vulnerable.
were very vulnerable. You were very open
vulnerable.
in ways like that you couldn't even help. Whereas, see, mine is so guarded and so
Guarded.
Mine was, I am presenting to you only what I approve of in my head first,
Ah.
even if it's in a private journal.
I think that's guarded.
Oh, super guarded.
Guarded.
Yeah.
Vulnerable. Maybe mine's fire.
Yeah. Yours offense.
Mine's fight to
good.
the death. If
Yours-
you could have
Combat. Emotional combat.
Don't
fire.
follow me.
Followers, which is funny.
Followers.
Which is funny because another journal entry, it's like I feel like I'm a follower and I need to fucking stop because it's wicked.
I'm such a
Yeah.
wicked poser.
I want to be a leader,
God.
not a follower.
The last thing I want to say is I just really want to bring back the word poser. I miss that word.
Don't be a poser.
Poser
Remember?
was so funny.
Poser was such a big
It was
word.
devastating. If you had poser thrown at you,
Yeah.
Devastating.
I think it'd be good to use if it's like don't be a poser, be yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I tried to do.
Yeah.
And myself was like, why can't you see the beauty?
why can't you see my face?
Why can't you see the beauty, all the
Oh my
injustice in the world? I'll fight you. I want to bring Wicked back too.
All right, we'll bring Wicked Poser.
Wicked poser.
Okay, Wicked Poser. Great.
Courtney, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you so much for having me on an episode where
Thanks
you
for-
both are very vulnerable, and
Thanks for reading some of my journals.
I loved it. It felt good for me when other people read mine,
Yeah.
and I would love if you can bring more of these entries and like we can maybe
We
do
should-
a
we
Smosh
should-
Pit Theater.
We should do it.
I would love
Sound
to...
off in the comments.
Yeah, sound off in the comments. I would love to pit theater this
Make it.
so bad.
Make it happen for us.
Sweet.
Don't be a poser.
Don't
Yeah.
be
Make
a
it
wicked
happen.
poser, kid.
All right. Well.
All right. Well, bye.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Who are you as a
Goodbye.
14-year-old? Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Let us know how many journals you have in
Goodbye.
the comments.
Journal,
Yeah.
bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow.
Wow.